The learning of motor skill. Hello everyone, I am Canlister R. Maglante, a first-year Bachelor of Physical Education student from Notre Dame of Marbelle University. And today, I made a lecture video about learning and motor skills. First, let us read the objectives for today's lecture video. At the end of the lesson, the readers should be able to define what is motor skill learning, differentiate performance and learning, discuss the law of practice, and lastly, reflect on the importance of learning motor skills. Now let's move on to what is motor skills. It is a learned, goal-directed activity accomplished primarily through muscular contributions to actions. A motor skill is any movement using the body that a child or person can do unassisted. The motor skills start developing at birth and continue to develop until late childhood or early adulthood. So here are the examples of actions that we adapt from motor skills: jumping, crawling, and throwing. Now let's move on to our main topic, which is the learning and performance and motor skills. Learning and motor skills, it is a relatively stable change in performance resulting from practice or experience. The process by which people acquire a new capacity to perform a skill is inferred from performance observations. Basically, learnings happen when we are observing on any other physical activities in our environment. Upon observing with those activities, we are able to learn those actions, and with that, we can gain knowledge in that way. For example, in hitting in volleyball, when we observe others on how they hit the ball, we are learning. If we observe them how they hit those balls and what are the ways for them to successfully hit that ball that maybe we can apply, then that's the time that we can say we are learning. Now, let's define what is performance. Performance refers to the execution of a skill at a specific time and in a specific location or situation. Qualitative or quantitative assessment of what can be observed during the execution of a skill. Performance, upon observing other people doing their tasks and when we try to act it or execute it, then we can say that we are performing. We are able to perform those actions because we are observing with the help of our instinct. Let's define or let's talk about the differences, distinction between performance and learning. It refers to the well-established finding that performance measured during acquisition may mask the true degree of learning that has occurred. In motor skills, learning refers to a relatively permanent change in the ability to perform a skill due to practice, while performance is the act of executing that skill at a specific time, which can be influenced by temporary factors like fatigue or environment. Meaning, performance can fluctuate while learning represents a more lasting change in capability. Essentially, learning is the underlying process, while performance is the observable outcome at a given moment. Assessing learning, measuring art. Learning, as we have seen, cannot be directly observed but must be inferred from performance observations. But as we have also seen, the presence of different performance variables may obscure the true quality of learning occurring during practice. There are three methods for determining from observations of performance if and the degree to which learning has occurred. These three methods are measurement of acquisition, retention tests, and transfer tests. Acquisition. It refers to the direct measurement of performance experiences in a laboratory experiment For example, a series of practice trials may be observed and the result for each trial measured and recorded. For retention, it is a measurement of performance conducted subsequent to acquisition trials and after sufficient time has elapsed to allow any effects of performance variables to dissipate. Transfer, a type of retention test in which the object is to measure the amount of learning that can be transferred to a similar but different skill or to the original skill in new context. For the contribution of art measurement, each of the art measures contributes something unique to our understanding of the learning process. Acquisition measurements allow us to determine the shape and rate of learning. That is, we can investigate factors that influence performance and presumable the rate of learning. Retention tests tell us about learning independently of temporary performance variables. They help us identify whether learning is occurring even when comparatively poor performance would seem to indicate otherwise. Retention tests also tell us about the performance of practice effects. Transfer tests allow us to measure the influence of practice on the strength of learning such that it can be readily transferred to other settings and conditions. The law of practice. It has long been established that the learning of one skill often has an effect on the learning of other skills, a phenomenon called transfer. Transfer can be either positive or negative, or no transfer may occur. Motor skill may be performed in a wide variety of contexts and conditions ranging from highly spontaneous and playful expressions to highly structured and organized practice experiences. So law of practice improvement and performance continues as long as practice continues, but the rate at which it occurs gradually and predictably diminishes over time or number of practice trials. It can be exposed or expressed mathematically as a power function. Upper limit and learning. There are two types of limit and learning. That is psychological limits and the 4-minute mile. Performance is limited by many factors, including physiological, anatomical, developmental, cultural, and training factors. Psychological factors can also play a major role in limiting performance. In fact, psychological factors can create a performance ceiling every bit as difficult to overcome as do physiological and mechanical factors. For example, it was at one time believed that humans could never run a mile in under 4 minutes, in that such a performance was simple beyond the psychological capacity of humans. Then, in 1954, English miler and medical student Roger Bannister ran the mile in under 4 minutes. Within weeks of Bannister's world record, several other runners had broken the impossible 4-minute barrier. Today's track athletes have even forgotten that the 4-minute barrier ever existed. But at one time, it acted as powerfully as any concrete physical barrier and preventing performance beyond a certain point. Overlearning motor skills. Overlearning, the concept that practice of a newly acquired skill beyond the point of mastery benefits long-term retention of the skill. Overlearning is defined as the amount of practice or number of trials or amount of time devoted to the continuation of practice once a desired mastery level has been achieved. The amount of practice required to attain such mastery is called original learning. That is 50% overlearning means that half again as many practice trials or as much time as taken to achieve original learning is devoted to overlearning practice beyond the mastery level. Benefits from learning one skill to learning of a second skill. The law of practice is one of the most ubiquitous and highly reliable laws in learning theory. According to it, changes in performance during early practice are relatively large. As practice continues, however, the amount of improvements its rates becomes progressively smaller in comparison to previous rates of improvement. Recall here that the negatively accelerating performance curve represents the normal shape of learning. This change in the rate of improvements over practice is so regular and predictable that it can be mathematically expressed. The formula for the loss of practice is a type of mathematical expression called a logarithmic power function, meaning that performance continues to improve toward an upper limit, but at a progressively diminishing and predictable rate. This lawful pattern of change shows regularity of virtually and all motor skills, although of course the exact rate will change depending on the skill, context, and learner. Now, to sum it up, learning may seem as simple as what happens as a result of practice. Upon further reflection, however, the processes involved in learning new skills are varied and complex. The acquisition of all motor skills, however, shares many fundamental processes revealed through research and experimentation. It is critical to distinguish between learning and performance because the level of a person's performance is not always an accurate indicator of learning, because learning cannot be observed directly. It must be inferred from observations of performance. Three measurements of performance are typically assessed in order to accurately determine degree of learning, acquisition, retention, and transfer. Performance curves illustrate the generalized pattern of improvement and performance of skills during acquisition, or four types of performance curves have been identified: the linear, negatively accelerating, positively accelerating, and S-shape. A number of fundamental laws and principles of learning observed during the practice of motor skills have been identified. According to the law of practice, learning occurs as a function of practice and continues as long as practice continues. Through improvements in performance becomes progressively and predictably less over time. Learning approaches an upper limit called as asymptote, which differs among individuals. Overlearning refers to practice beyond the attainment of a mastery level. The primary goal of overlearning is to enhance long-term retention of skills. Overlearning schedules of between 50 and 200% have been demonstrated as optimal in maintaining retention. It has long been established that the learning of one skill often has an effect on the learning of other skills, a phenomenon called transfer. Transfer can be either positive or negative, or no transfer may occur. Motor skills may be performed in a wide variety of contexts and conditions, ranging from highly spontaneous and playful expressions to highly structured and organized practice experience. That's the end of presentation and learning motor skills. I hope you guys learned something about it. Thank you.